And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate, helping you understand your buying decisions, make you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got a great lineup. I want to jump right into it today. Save our hotline number, 813-917-1894. Call or text that number. Any questions, comments, connections you'd like to make. We want to be that super connector for you here in Tampa Bay, put you in touch with all of our expert contributors. We got attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, home services, all types of great home services, self-defense, technology experts associated with the show. 813-917-1894. Call or text that line. And consumerqb.com, that's your number one resource, consumerqb.com. And I want to let you know about a couple of our hot listings. We like to feature our real estate listings live on air. We help our sellers profit more and sell faster, utilizing our innovation with radio, TV, and internet marketing. We're a top 100 ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay, and we'd like to help you win if you're thinking of buying, selling, or investing here in Tampa Bay. 5602 Land O'Lakes Boulevard. This is a $1 million listing, beautiful property, C2 zoning, great opportunity. Attention builders and developers, great opportunity on the north side of US 41, the east side of US 41 rather, going north. This is C2 zoning. You got water frontage on Lake Helen. C2 zoning. I think it would make a beautiful either a nursery, boutique hotel, or an ALF right there at 5602 Land O'Lakes Boulevard. Commercial property for sale. Almost 7 acres. Great opportunity right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, we got Anthony Rickman in the house, the Rickman Law Firm. Welcome back, sir.
Brandon, thanks for having me back. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, man. And always great to interview you. I love talking about, January 6th commission, Alec Baldwin. We're going to talk about some of this PPP fraud. Where do you want to start?
Wherever you want to start. I mean, look, it's never a dull moment in my world or in the criminal defense world. I mean, the headlines always revolve around what I do for a living. It's represent people accused of crimes.
Yeah.
And, when you look at the wide array of cases in the news we see now, you see Alec Baldwin. We see gun cases. Handle a lot of those gun cases where people are injured or killed through accidental shootings, allegations of negligence or gross negligence. Mm-hmm. January 6th is huge. I mean, we see what's happening now with the committees, with the commission on the Hill, as well as the DOJ investigations. And now he said, PPP loan fraud. And when you talk about January 6th and PPP loan, the main focus on all of them is the Trump administration.
Yeah.
The Trump administration rolled out PPP loan fraud, the PPP loans. The Trump administration now is at the center of the inquiry for January 6th.
Yep.
You talk about both of those two big cases. The question is it politically motivated? Is it driven at the administration? And what are we seeing now? People getting arrested left and right for loan fraud. People getting arrested even now, a year and a few days later, for January 6th incidents. And it's interesting to see how these prosecutions are steered through DOJ.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a very, what's turning out to be seemingly a crooked DOJ, a two-tier system of justice in America. You never really thought you'd have that. Growing up in the, the 80s and 90s, you'd hear about communism, you'd hear about regime rule, but you'd always say, no, not here in America. This is, people love America. This is a free place to be. The free state, and the free state of Florida, thank God, here in Florida, in Tampa Bay, of course. But, you wouldn't think that these types of things would be happening.
Well, look, I think January 6th really changed the landscape of our country. I mean, we have, what happened on that day, is something that's going to be carried on to history. We see the large effect of it. And now we see organizations within the government specifically created to investigate these cases. Look, we know recently, the Capitol Police set up a field office here in Tampa.
Yeah. Because
there are so many cases that surround those circumstances. And look, obviously the government has a right to investigate cases. The government feels that crimes have been committed. If the government feels that there have been violations of law, if the government has evidence to establish crimes were committed, then obviously as citizens, we'd expect them to conduct these investigations. And we're seeing now just how deep these investigations go. At first, it became individuals on January 6th, for instance, individuals who they were seen on Capitol grounds or walking into the Capitol destroying property. Then we've seen that morph now into people going to prison with the largest sentence here out of our area. Out of all the sentences, the guy got 5 years because he assaulted Capitol Police. We see now the overarching theories that there was some sort of planned insurrection that the government is now prosecuting. And we see how these cases have evolved from what we initially thought on January 6th to be people going in and potentially at that point in time, there still might be the argument they were expressing their right of free speech, but that line has to be drawn. You know, and even as a criminal defense attorney, as a citizen, there's no reason to assault officers. There's no reason to go in and conduct these activities that these people are alleging to conduct.
Right.
Looking at it on both sides, if people on the right are upset that Antifa was never prosecuted,
right?
People on the right are upset that BLM was never prosecuted. But imagine it was BLM or Antifa who stormed the Capitol that day.
Right.
People on the right would say, "Go get them." Yeah. So we have to be fair in how we want these cases prosecuted across the board. But now the question becomes when does it end where you're making a just prosecution or the Capitol Hill investigation when you're doing something to investigate it versus now a political situation.
Political hitch out. I mean, and that's what we're seeing. We're talking with Anthony Rickman here, the Rickman Law Firm. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. And from what I see and the way that this is all rolling out, you had, Ashley Babbitt shot, and then the guys, where was that? Where was the outrage for that? And then it's literally a two-tiered, you got DOJ going after parents that who disagree with critical race theory being taught, these sexual content being taught to their kids. You got the rape case that happened in Virginia where they tried to cover it up. I mean, there's numerous on and on examples, and just to take it out from the January 6th, we got an open southern border, which is a blatant misuse of government assets and resources. You've got Afghanistan. I mean, it goes on and on.
Well, look, we talk politics all day long. I mean, look, there's we had the president on TV yesterday saying that he accomplished more than what people had expected. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't think he does, but that's a different story.
Yeah, exactly.
But, we do have issues. And look, we see people coming across the border committing crimes. We see crimes, so what we would see as what we call selective prosecutions,
yes,
where certain people are prosecuted, others aren't. We see individuals released on very low bail, low bond, on cases where they may be incarcerated. And then we see people sitting in custody on low-level offenses without bond. Yeah. So we really are seeing a shift in our justice system, even here locally and nationally. We've seen, we talk about the bond situation a lot. George Soros, a lot of people on the left, they focus their money, they focus their campaigns on getting local district attorneys elected.
DAs.
We saw what happened in Baltimore. We talk about PPP fraud. We see what happens in some of these cities now, where in Detroit, guy burns his girlfriend, who's pregnant with 2 twins, and he gets a bond of $50,000.
Jeez.
And we see our system really pushing back from what we traditionally believed our justice system to be.
Yeah, should be. It used to be tough on crime was a good thing. Now they're twisting it to where it's not. We got a criminal defense attorney, Anthony Rickman, in studio. I'm going to play a clip here that I teed up. It worked out perfect with you being in studio here to comment, since you are the expert legal analyst here on this particular. So PPP fraud. You've got a Mosby is the lady's name, and I believe she was a state attorney, assistant state attorney at some point. Check this out. Listen to this story and what she used her money for.
According to the 4-count indictment, Mosby, by the way, whose husband is the president of the city council, just another wonderful group of people, Mosby claimed to have experienced financial hardship due to the COVID-19 pandemic in order to withdraw from the city's deferred compensation plan on 2 separate occasions. So she claimed that she was experiencing a COVID-19 hardship. She goes out for this loan, and what did she do? Well, oh my goodness, she bought a $500,000 home in Kissimmee, Florida, just by Orlando, by Disney World, and then another mortgage for a $428,000 mortgage to purchase a condo in Longboat Key, Florida. So this is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. You understand what's happening here? Your cities like Baltimore, where the homicide rates are like nothing they've seen in decades, in 30 years. We talked about the pandemic of homicides, and Baltimore, of course, is one of the top in terms of homicide rate. The officials there aren't worried about cleaning up the streets or taking care of people or stopping the people from killing each other. No. They're all buying homes in Florida. Isn't that nice? Isn't that wonderful? Doesn't that just warm the coggles of your heart? So Marilyn Mosby has been charged federally in this. She should have been behind bars a long, long time ago, along with probably half the politicians in every single city in this country.
Yeah, so the again, it's back to focus and where are you putting your energies? Are you putting your energies on lowering the crime rate, reducing homicides? How about the girl that just got killed in Los Angeles or in California? What part of Los Angeles or California that was? But yeah, when you look at this, and then they're buying Florida real estate.
And by the way, they all hate our governor because
That's
of
right.
mask mandates and or lack thereof, and how we treat COVID. But they're all coming here.
Yeah,
they're
Pelosi
all
bought a house.
Yes.
I mean, they're all coming
because
here.
it's a great state to live in.
Yeah.
And they know it, and they come here, but yet they want to talk bad. But that's a different story. But we look at Mosby. We talk about the crime rate in Baltimore. She is one of those appointees who is all for letting people out on low bonds. That's why the crime rate is very high.
Yeah.
She is, against her own police officers who are trying to enforce the laws.
Yep.
And she's against them. So that's why you see that elevated crime rate. And then you see a prosecutor who is appointed or elected to fight crime, to prosecute criminals, being indicted herself for federal criminal law violations.
Yeah.
But you got to hand it to DOJ. When you talk, on the contrary, DOJ is indiscriminate in this particular case.
In this
they
case,
indicted
that's right.
a liberal politician, a liberal district attorney,
Yep.
for loan fraud. And what we see in those cases, look, the government rolled out the PPP, the EIDL, those disaster relief funds to help people who are struggling during the disaster.
Right.
Not so Mosby and all these other people can go buy properties
Right.
wherever it may be. Thank you for helping the Florida economy,
Yeah.
but do it with your own money.
Yeah.
Don't do it with government money.
Yep.
And what we see now, and I represent clients accused of this, is on these loans that people received, the government is looking at that because once the government starts spending, and once you're getting free money, and then we see a big deficit and we see the government running out of that free money, they're going to say, well, let's go get it back.
Yeah.
Let's go get it from the people who took that money who shouldn't have taken it. But the problem with these PPP loans and the EIDL loans were how they were rolled out. It was very vague on what you can use that money for. At first, people thought you can use it for expenses. You can use it for mortgages. You can use it for whatever you want to use it for. At first, people thought you had to put it in a separate account or commingle it in your funds. And, it was very complicated how they rolled it out. And there was
Yep.
no real clear direction
Yep.
because it was just thrown on you and said, hey, we're in trouble here. Businesses are failing.
Yep.
People need money. We're going to give you some free money.
Yeah.
And everyone who took it felt, hey, let's take advantage of this. And they had the ability, not everyone, but, people who took it, they felt that we could take advantage of this and take the money the government's giving it. A lot of these people needed that money. You talk about, the hospitality industry. You talk about, people who owned duplexes, people who owned apartments, people who owned homes that they put for rentals. The government put a moratorium on evictions. So now you have people who
Yep.
own homes, they own duplexes, they own these large properties. They're trying to get money from their tenants, but they can't
Yep.
because you can't force an eviction. And what are they supposed to do?
Right.
They need that government money to survive. But now the government's turning around a lot of these people and saying, well, you use money for wrong things. We didn't say you can use it for this and that. And I think a lot of it is because the government didn't specify clearly what you can use that EIDL or PPP loan money for.
Yeah.
And because of this, now we're having a lot of cases, a lot of federal investigations that I'm seeing into people who took loan money.
Yeah, it's to me too. If you take a step back, we got to take a break here soon. But when you look at 50% of all the money being in existence being printed in the last 18 to 24 months, when you look at a $5 trillion wealth transfer from the political class, the ruling class, from white collar, working people, muscular class, people that are out there working every day to kind of stay alive, $5 trillion transfer to the political class, the globalist, the corporatist. I think you're talking about the reset, the great reset all happening. These lockdowns played into it, COVID played into it, the Chinese virus, et cetera. And now you got the CCP Olympics. I want to ask you about that on the flip side of this break. What's your take on China hosting the Olympics openly, knowingly? A lot of people know that they are imprisoning some of their own people, the Uyghur people. So we'll be right back. More with Anthony Rickman here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you've been listening to the phenomenal Brandon Rhymes, the Consumer Quarterback Show.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
Hey, Margie here with the Consumer Quarterback Show and the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. If you're buying, selling, or investing, please give us a shot. We would love to help you. We are a top 1% ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay, and you can reach us at 813-750-0550. Call or text 813-750-0550. ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent in Tampa Bay, featured in Florida Realtor Magazine, Top Agent Magazine, The Business Journal. We're looking for inventory. Attention sellers, we need more inventory to sell. If you're a seller on the fence thinking about selling your property, we want to hear from you. Free comparable market analysis. Check out consumerqb.com.
Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
Have you desired more income and more freedom in your life? Now is your time. Keller Williams Realty has just launched our own real estate school, and you can get licensed for free. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And for the first 3 people who reach out, I will personally coach you. 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. ConsumerQB.com. ConsumerQB.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, always helping you win in your real estate deals. Something cool that just happened with Keller Williams also is we launched our own real estate school. So Keller Williams has a real estate school now. It's free for anybody that wants to reach out. We'll put you in touch and have you do that. It's an online course. So you can get your real estate license. The idea there is for some people, you can have a side hustle, maybe refer deals to us. We'll close it for you. You get paid a 25% referral fee. So it's a very cool program powered by Kaplan, the education company. So reach out. We'd love to talk to you. And if you want any introductions to our expert contributors, just call the hotline 917-1894, Tampa number 917-1894. And let's talk about a hot listing here. We got a property in Seminole Heights. This property is 4302 North Nebraska Avenue, commercial property. If you are a business out there, you're saying, hey, I'd like to buy my own. Maybe you're leasing your space. This is a great opportunity. 4302 North Nebraska Avenue. You got your own billboard on site. You got a private billboard on your lot. 40 to 50,000 vehicles a day passing by. And this is a beautiful office space. You got wood flooring. You got a kitchen in the back, multiple rooms. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, we got Anthony Rickman in the house, the Rickman Law Firm, the rickmanlawfirm.com. So, yeah, we're kind of going into, we talk about the different lawsuits out there. You got the January 6th stuff happening. You got Baldwin case, the gun scenario there on set. And then we kind of jumped into the PPP fraud and stuff. And it kind of led me, I started going off a little bit about the Great Reset, because so many people say, well, I don't really get into politics and, I don't really touch on that. Unfortunately, I used to be like that, and now I just see it. I just kind of see it. It's kind of like a football. You walk out on the football field, right, as a quarterback, and you look up. You got your offense, you got a defense out there, and you kind of see what they're doing. Wow, are they running a zone here? Are they going to blitz me from the left? What are they going to do? Should I audible this call? But now, kind of a real life scenario is like, man, we've got unprecedented open borders. We got chaos as far as the currency goes. They're trying to debase our money. I mean, they're literally leading us into the one world government that you hear about. And in the Revelations in the Bible, it talks about a one world government, a currency. So some people say, oh, well, Brandon, you're in business for real estate. Why would you talk about these things? Well, I believe that it's more important to open people up. They talk about woke on the left. I'm talking about woke on the right here, understanding. But I got a clip I want to play for you and then get your take on this, because this is a recent clip about Russia and about Ukraine and what the illegitimate president said yesterday.
We just saw a president of the United States sundown in real time on live TV in front of not just the eyes of our nation, but the eyes of the world. Vladimir Putin, obviously, taking very close attention to what's going on there when Biden essentially gives him the green light for what he says is a minor incursion in Ukraine. So in those breakaway provinces. By the way, you think they're paying attention to that in Taiwan right now? Look, the Olympics, the CCP Omicron Olympics are going to be the coronation of Xi Jinping as the chairman for life of the CCP. And Taiwan, they better start mining the straits right now. Spin up the screws on those submarines and get the diesel boats out there. You got to start mining that strait, because he is coming for Taiwan.
That's the Bannon podcast. But what's your reaction to that?
Look, I think this is the start of something bad. I mean, it's not the start. It's just a culmination of what's going on. I mean, Russia has no respect for us. Yeah. Russia has no respect for NATO. We see Russia building up troops. We see the misinformation that Russia's putting out on social media. We see them controlling their own narrative. And we see a weak government for the United States. We're so torn as a country. Yeah. We're destroying ourselves from within. It makes it much easier for the enemy to destroy us from outside.
That's right.
And the situation we have, we look at this country. You talk about politics. We are so polarized as a nation. Yep. We can't get on board with anything. Yeah. And the problem we have is that our enemies see that. Yeah. They see how torn we are up as a country, and they're using the internet, they're using Twitter, they're using social media to further divide us, and we're letting it happen. Yeah. In the meantime, what are they doing? They're building their army. They're building their military. They're moving on countries. China's moving on Taiwan. Russia's moving on the Ukraine.
They got the fuel pipeline.
They got the pipeline. We're saying we're downplaying what they're doing, and at the same time, we're kicking people out of our military that we need because they don't want to get COVID shot. Yeah. Okay. Exactly. Here's the time we need to say, hey, whatever it takes, we need to build our military. We see what's coming. The writing is on the wall. Yep. We are, Biden has said it. We are going to defend Taiwan. Yep. We're going to defend the Ukraine. But at the same time, how are we going to do that when we're weakening our military? Yeah. How are we going to do that when our own country is divided and can't get together or coalesce on anything?
Lack of manufacturing. We don't have manufacturing like we did with World War II. And you got the dollar, the attack on the dollar. I mean, that's a huge one. The attack on the middle class. Yeah. The DOJ going after parents that disagree with teaching critical race theory, which goes against, we just had MLK Day just recently. Dr. Martin Luther King, character, not skin color. And that's what critical race theory teaches. I mean, there's so many ways that this thing goes wrong.
Well, yeah, it is. And you talk about the lack of manufacturing. I went to buy new Nikes yesterday. I can't even buy shoes. Yeah. I mean, everything is being shut down. But what's in common? The disease that was created by China in China is weakening our ability as a country to function, to produce, to manufacture. It's weakening our dollar. The stock market's getting crushed the last few days. Yep. And it's all correlated, back to China. Yep. And we're making concessions to them. Hey, let's give them the Olympics.
That's right.
Let's reward them for what's gone on. The same country that brought you Omicron, Delta, and COVID-19
that's right.
is getting awarded with having the Olympics.
And no talk of reparations. No talk. There was no talks and no ask of, hey, give us some money for all these problems you created. Trillions of dollars. Trump wants to do it. They don't want to do it. We got 30 seconds.
But we talk about the sporting world, the NBA, the Olympic Committee.
Right.
Everyone is so vocal about everything. We have LeBron talking about all these injustices. But when it comes to China, They all shut up because it hurts their pocketbook.
That's right. Absolutely. We are a country of corporations, and a lot of those corporations have global interests. Anthony Rickman, always a pleasure speaking with you, man.
Thank you. Believe it or not, I'm a criminal defense attorney.
There you go. Yeah, criminal defense. Reach out if you need criminal defense, and he's one of the best here in Tampa Bay. TheRickmanLawFirm.com. TheRickmanLawFirm.com. And stay with us. We'll be right back. We've got Fred Muth coming up, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, as well as Matt DeMeo, author, YouTuber, educator here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'll be right back.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Fred, they're just resetting really quick.
Five, four, three, two, one.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in any marketplace. That is our goal. Consumer Quarterback Show now almost 10 years on air. Real excited about our growth and a lot of good expert contributors associated with the show. I want to give a shout out to Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. If you want to stay energized and hydrated and replenished, reach out to Stephen and Lisa Gunnan over at Replenish IV Solutions. Longtime friends of the program and sent a safe and effective way to restore your body's crucial vitamins and nutrients by enabling your body to perform at optimal conditions. Multiple Bay Area locations, Replenish IV Solutions. They will also come to you, and make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers and incentives. All right, we got a prime property for development, 12631 Hobson Simmons Road out in East Hillsborough County, Southeast Hillsborough County. You got 10 to 12 acres here. The owner says now he will divide them up into 1 acre lots if you'd like. 12631 Hobson Simmons Road in Lithia, 12 acres, water, sewer, power, and cable available. Attention builders and developers. Great opportunity right here. Build, develop, 12631 Hobson Simmons Road out in beautiful Lithia, Florida. Great buying opportunity here in Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Somewhere sunny and 75. All right, so we got Fred Muth on the line, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. We also have Matt DeMayo here in studio. I'm going to go to Matt first. Matt, give us a quick intro of what you're going to talk about, my friend.
Well, first of all, I'm really happy to be here. And I know with the last segment, you got into some politics and some depressing stuff. I want to talk about things that you can actually control in your life.
Nice.
A lot of people got discouraged about not being able to keep their New Year's resolutions, or they don't know how to go about doing it. And so I want to talk about the thing that you do have control over, yourself.
Yeah, that's right. Yourself, your power of focus, and where your focus goes, your energy flows.
Yep.
I love it. That's good. New Year's resolutions. And let's go to the phone lines. Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How's everything over there at the studio? I'm going to make it back in someday.
Nice. We're doing great, man. Blessed and highly favored. Things are great in here, and it's always nice to be face-to-face, but I understand if you're on the phone lines here calling in, you're still giving us, the great updates from the contractor world.
Sure. The contractor world is phenomenal. Right now is a great time to be a contractor. Right now is a great time to be a real estate agent. But I'd really like to touch on your analogy of football versus politics. And, here's how I feel. They are almost identical with the exception of football's not rigged. Hold on a second. Hold on. I watched my Eagles lose to my Bucks last week. See, they're both my team. Since I'm from Philly and I live here, I can't lose either way.
Yeah.
And I watched how bad Philadelphia played, and I said to myself, you can't play that bad unless somebody pays you to. And now I'm starting to think, maybe football's rigged as well. I don't know. That's just my analogy.
You never know, right? You never know. Hey, I used to say that whenever Tom Brady was in New England. I'd say, man, it seems like a lot of the borderline calls go their way. Maybe the bigger markets, New York, L.A., Boston, for example, Miami, maybe. But yeah, it's interesting to see, interesting to think about, right?
Yeah, I'm sure you watched that game, and there was more mistakes made with Philadelphia. You were there, okay? Yeah. You saw it. Okay.
That was a good one.
Let's move on. That was depressing. Anyway, so back to our business. The business is there, plenty of business. The materials aren't. We just can't get materials. Not Tampa Screens particularly. The industry wide, the materials are back ordered, unimaginable. And I've signed a couple jobs based on the fact that I was the honest guy telling them the reality, and some of the other competition they weren't so truthful, and the homeowner researched and found out the materials are not available. So the time frames that I'm disclosing are typically realistic time frames.
Right.
And I feel unfortunately as though our country's being held hostage somehow with this shortage of shipping materials, receiving materials. I don't know.
It's a coordinated effort. I mean, look what just happened with the cement trucks and transportation going into China. Or I'm sorry, going into Canada. That'd be trucks going into China. Going north. If you're crossing the border now, all of a sudden they're requiring the vaccinated. So the whole thing you're affecting. They're coordinating this from a high level. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to even accept the fact that truckers are purposely sitting and not moving, collecting $25,000, $30,000 a year, as opposed to making their six figures. It's very hard for me to accept that. So I don't know that that's a true statement either. I've heard that several times, and there's
they're
truckers
being
out there
to get the vaccination. I believe is what I'm being told, or what I've read. And so then they can't cross into China unless they've been vaccinated. Is that right, John? Have you heard about that part?
Well, to Canada.
To Canada, yeah. Did I say China again? Jeez.
Yeah. Well, you got China on your mind.
I know. I got notes in front of me about it. We just talked about it. But yeah. So, anyways, that's affecting not only labor supply, but labor, but also supply of your wood products, your plastics, your metallic products, and of course, we've had Mike Murphy with Murphy Auto Group talking about the effects on the key components for F-150s and the lithiums and the chips, the microchips in cars and vehicles.
It's terrible. A friend of mine has a transmission shop over here in Brandon. He's got 6 bays. I took my car in for service. He turned me around 3 days in a row because the cars are up in the air, the transmissions are apart, but there's no parts to put them in and get them out of the bays.
Wow.
So he's out of he can't service. He couldn't service anything for 3 days. It's terrible. So it's a trickle down situation. Hurts everybody. If I sell a patio or screen room today, I tell them 4, 5, 6, 7 months in that time frame, depending on how soon the materials are available. And in our case, it's that insulated composite roof panel has been significantly back ordered. The panel itself is made domestically. However, the aluminum skin, top and bottom, that's an imported product, and that's the product that's supposedly sitting out in a container ship somewhere, not unloaded yet. So, it's terrible because we have jobs. The concrete goes in, everybody's ready. We sit and wait. In some cases, the materials arrive without warning. And it's unfortunate for the suppliers because they're trying to push the stuff out as quick as they can. They receive material without warning, and they just go fast. It's just a bad situation. I've been doing this almost 30 years, and I've never seen anything so ridiculous as what we're dealing right now.
It's utterly ridiculous. We're talking with Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, right here in Tampa Bay. Great contractor. Company is going to help you with screen rooms, any type of screen room addition. If you want to put it on the back of the home, on the pool lanais, just a great opportunity to insulate yourself and have that in between space that we talk about. But yeah, it's also, to me, it's an attack on the middle class, Fred. These contracting companies, these truck drivers, these, plumbers, electricians, the hard work. You work with your hands in a lot of cases. This middle class, the muscular class, in a sense. It's really an attack of the elites versus us here, sitting here. I'll put myself in that middle class, as far as a hardworking realtor. Yeah, I'm not out there working with my hands as much, but yeah, I'm in that middle class, and that's who's getting attacked right now and getting hurt by these lockdown policies, these COVID policies. It's unbelievable what's happening.
Sure, and in your case, your deal doesn't close in some cases if the house is in disrepair and repairs are required,
right?
And you can't get the materials to fix the house, so your closing sits. And then what's that do? When your buyer has already sold their property, which that happens, they sell fast. Now, where do they go for 4 months, 3-4 months? They're in a pickle, so to speak, and it's just it's not right. And I sure hope things change within the 4, 5, 6 months. Tell Matt DeMaio that's my New Year's resolution to make.
I like that one.
To try to make things change on my end, anyway.
Yeah, that's right. What you can control. Absolutely. So give us an overview, Fred. Folks are out there thinking about adding on, what are they looking at as far as time frame and, what kind of projects are you putting together for folks?
Yeah, the majority of what I've been selling is a lot of replacement pool cages where, the cage is 20, 15, 18, 20 years old. And now the customer wants the upgraded gutter system. They want the panoramic view on the back. So a lot of our sales are based on that. So the old cage comes down. They in some cases the value of the home just went through the roof. So they figure they can spend the money on the house. And if they put 15, 18, 20 grand into the house, new cage, panoramic view, new gutters, take care of the rotten wood, whatever's bad there. That's the majority of what I've been selling. Of course, we're still doing extensions, patio extensions, where I have to take care of the foundation work as well. I've got a couple guys. One guy does the majority of our concrete. Another guy does the majority of our pavers and footers. And we coordinate with them. We act as one contractor. These are the projects that that's, our company as well as others, these are the ones you see. You drive through a new subdivision, you'll see 2 or 3 concrete mixer trucks in there pouring a patio in the back. And that's, who knows whether that's ours or somebody else's. But, the new subdivisions, couple hundred homes, you'll see them cement mixer trucks going in and out all day long pouring patios.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a challenge. I've talked to a gentleman this morning that was putting a bid together for a builder, and it's kind of a one-off job where he was going to do a custom build. But yeah, he's like, these are quotes for 30 to 60 days. If it runs past that, we're going to have to amend these quotes, and things are changing very fluid. Fred, give us your final thought.
Well, my final thoughts are, times are a little tough, but proceed. And if you're deciding to do an extension or do a patio revision or replacement, sign up as soon as you can. Get on the list, because it's hard to say where prices are going to go from this point forward. In most cases, they're going to continue to escalate. And, in some cases, we will have to amend our pricing if it goes too long, if the contract goes too long, without receiving materials in that case. We haven't done it yet. But even my concrete contractor, he took a couple of hits where he signed up and the permits didn't come through for months later. And, he ended up putting the jobs in for free because his material prices went through the roof. Yeah. But the best thing to do is to sign up, get on the list, and be patient if you can. The hardest thing for me is being patient. I'm not a patient person generally, and I'm asking my customers to be patient, and I tell them that right up front. I feel your pain. I'm very impatient. I like things to go fast, but things don't go fast anymore.
Yeah.
And most people understand. Most people are okay with it because they know what's going on in our world right now.
Well, you're a great salesperson, and you're taking an educational approach, and you're giving them, the real lowdown of what to expect. So I think people appreciate that.
That's right. And I always tell them, make sure you ask questions. Before I hang up the phone, I'll tell the customer, I say, I'm the kind of guy, if you don't ask me questions, I'm nervous. I say, I don't like surprises on the back end. If I don't cover something, if I miss something, I would love you to continue to ask the questions so maybe we can cover that point.
Right.
Nothing worse in contracting than a big surprise on the back end.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's hang tight right there. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we've got straight A strategies for successful online learning. Matt DeMayo, author, YouTuber, and educator here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us. Don't touch that dial. Please follow us online. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would do us a great favor if you just go to our YouTube channel. Brandon Rhymes Realty is the name of that. Subscribe to that channel and follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter. Consumer Quarterback Show page out there as well on Facebook. And also Matt is found at Be Smarter Faster on YouTube as well. We'll be right back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
The Consumer Quarterback Show will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show. Looking for a venue to host your next business or family event? Make it Largo Event Center. The Consumer Quarterback Show has used the Largo Event Center, and the hall and service you get is fantastic. Over 8,500 square feet of meeting space, perfect for events, expos, and trade shows. Upstairs offers space for smaller meetings and groups to include use of their lounge and game room. Plenty of room outside for car shows or food truck events and concerts. Largo Event Center is just west of US 19 on 126th Avenue. For booking and details, visit largoeventcenter.com. largoeventcenter.com. That's largoeventcenter.com. Or call Guy at 727-776-3442.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Brandon Rhymes here, back in studio. Got a waterfront lot available in Palm Harbor. It's on a canal with access to bay. It's on 2 Oak Avenue. This was an access to the Lake Tarpon, so you could build a home right there. Beautiful property. It's listed about $180,000. Beautiful property here. The house actually is closing and is sold, but I got a lot next door. I'm going to send the pictures so you have that for next time, John. But we got 2 Oak Avenue lot for sale. Beautiful property right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings, Platinum, MVPteam.kw.com. All right. So Matt DeMayo in the house, a longtime friend of the program. We've known each other for probably close to a decade now.
Yep.
And you're an author, a YouTuber, an educator. Straight A strategies for successful online learning.
Correct. With so many students still having to take classes online.
Yeah.
And now with a lot of these new policies, you were talking with, Anthony Rickman in the last segment about, some of the restrictions going on. What are students going to do? It's a different way of going about studying when you have to study online. My daughter is in her third year at Florida State University, and fortunately, because she employed a bunch of these strategies, she was president's list for both the spring and the fall semester.
Wow.
In the year that she had to take all of her classes online. Fortunately, now she's back, taking classes on campus.
Yeah,
So,
in person. That's
yeah,
great.
You bet. Your last guest, Fred Muth, and I have become personal friends as a result of this show. You talk about you and
Fred's
I being
still on,
friends.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope he is. So to the extent where I've even had Fred come to my house. We've had dinner together. His wife has met my wife.
Awesome.
And when Fred first came to my house, I brought him out onto my screened lanai because there was a little issue that I had with drainage. I just bought this house less than a year ago. And Fred gave me a solution. And he's looking at it and he went, you know what? I sold this job. It turned out Fred did my screened lanai.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Long before I purchased the house.
Yeah.
But he recognized the job right away. How cool is that?
That's funny. It really is a small world.
It was deja vu.
Yep.
Deja vu, he says. Yeah, that's right. That's awesome. So, connections through the show. I love that. People making connections through the show, connections in
that's one of the best things about your show.
Yeah.
Is that you provide a genuine service where people can actually make connections with others that can benefit them somehow.
Right.
Unlike a lot of other radio shows where you just listen to people talk,
right.
You actually provide real people that are valuable resources.
Yeah, appreciate that.
And so,
Thank you.
But let me tell you about the resource I'm going to provide today.
I like it. Let's jump into it.
Here we are in the third week of January, and everybody at the beginning of a new year, we all have the same habit. We all make these New Year's resolutions. And then within a short amount of time, most people get really discouraged. They get fed up with themselves that for some reason they just can't stick to the promises they've made for themselves.
Yeah.
So I want to address that. On my YouTube channel, Be Smarter, Faster, I talk about strategies, about how to learn things better and how to learn things faster. But it's really all about how to improve your life. And so I want to talk a little bit about the big reason that people fail to stick up to for their New Year's resolutions is that they tend to overwhelm themselves. They'll make this long list of all these things that they want to accomplish.
Yeah.
And it becomes overwhelming.
Yeah.
And they get discouraged. They look at all these things that are wrong with their lives.
Yeah.
So here's the
human,
solution.
The human brain, at least from gleaning from my Tony Robbins, popped in my head. He says, 1, 2, 3, too many. So people can remember 1, 2, 3 things, but then the fourth is like too many. Just keep it to 3.
Yeah, there is that thing called the rule of 3.
Yeah.
Talking about memory, as a matter of fact, I'm going to talk about my home study memory course in just a moment. But That's why a phone number is 7 digits, because beyond 7 digits, very difficult for human beings to remember that stuff.
Right.
But getting back to the New Year's resolution thing, to avoid the feeling of being overwhelmed, what I recommend that people do is that they do make their list of New Year's resolutions. What are the things that they want to change? What do they want to improve? But then pick one.
All right.
Pick one.
That's right.
And then work on it for 21 days. The very best science has shown that it takes 21 days to form a new habit. Now, at the beginning, these habits are going to be these tiny little weak habits. So even in 21 days, it'll be like a little seedling that finally popped through the earth.
Mm-hmm.
But at least it's a new habit. Now, what I recommend that people do is they actually keep a little calendar and mark down. It's like when you were little and the teacher would give you a gold star.
Yeah.
You know, what you were going to do is you're going to check off something on a little calendar and give yourself a little star that, yes, I did what I said I was going to do.
Love it.
And then do it for 21 days. Now, if you mess up and on day 6 you missed out, then day 7 becomes your new day 1 of your 21.
Yeah.
Once you've got 21 days in a row on one new habit, then you're going to stack another one on top. This is a concept called habit stacking.
I like it.
It's something that most people have never heard of. So by the end of the year, maybe you can have 4, 5, 8, maybe 10 new habits if you're really focused.
Yeah.
Because next year is coming.
Yep.
Time marches on.
That's right. I teach a class called Win with Sellers at Keller Williams organizations or different franchisees, and that's one of the key things. It's like mindset. Keep it simple. Don't overwhelm yourself. Practice your scripts, role play. I mean that.
And like you said, keep it simple. Keep it simple, sweetheart. Yep. I know that there's another way of talking about the KISS principle.
That's a better way. I like it. But
keep
tell
it
us
short
about
and
your
sweet.
home study video course.
Let me tell you, what I've done is a lot of people know me because I do these demonstrations of powerful memory stuff.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people have asked, how do I? It's one thing to read or to study or to learn it. How do I remember it? How do I remember people's names? How do I remember numbers, numerical information, where I put my keys, my wallet, my eyeglasses? So what I did was I created a short video training course that consists of multiple bite-sized videos that you can look on your phone. You can watch them easily on your phone because I formatted them in a vertical format. Easy and quick. It's called AnIncredibleMemory.com.
AnIncredibleMemory.com. Also YouTube.com/Be Smarter Faster. Matt DeMeo, I tell you, man, you got it. I love it. How many subscribers now on YouTube?
156,000 subscribers from all over the world. Almost 8 million views.
That's awesome, man. 8 million views. Well, I'm putting on an event coming up soon. I want to talk to you about it, too, because I want you to be a guest speaker there at that event. Hey, another great show. I want to thank Anthony Rickman, Fred Muth, Matt DeMeo, and we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another and be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Motivational is to